Welcome people to the live stream. Captain Trucker, man, I had to restart it. Through Tennessee. Hope you're all doing well out there. I got the phone mounted. It's on a one-touch setup, so I can't see it. Can't interact with it. It's all legal. But you're all welcome to talk, send your comments, and when I pull over, I can read them. Sun's about to go down. Headed towards Nashville, Georgia. I had a good endorphin high today, man. I went for a 3-mile run. Did some good intervals. I was able to hold 12 miles per hour for longer than normal. Exercise is the key, man. It always is. The sun going down in Tennessee. Can't see the phone, but it's mounted for you all. Welcome to the live stream, whoever's out there in the universe. Hope you're all having a good day. $100 miles to Nashville. 109 miles. Lane blockage at 26 miles. Hope you're all enjoying Tennessee tonight. The sun will be going down soon. Welcome to the Captain Trucker live stream, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, we're on the road. I hope everybody's having a good day out there. Wherever you may be. Truck driving can be very peaceful sometimes. I don't like these two. It's too narrow. we're headed towards Nashville, then Chicago. Looks like the sun's going down. Clouds. It looks like smoke, but it's like clouds. Maybe it is smoke. If you're enjoying those clouds in the distance, folks, smash that like button. These are Tennessee clouds now. And those are trucks in front of me. Trying to figure out how many Americans are currently in the Philippines. Might be like there's no concrete studies or whatever. There's no concrete statistics on how many Americans are currently in the Philippines, right? So even the U.S. State Department puts out like varying kind of numbers. Some say 400, 500, 600,000, but nobody really knows. They can't figure out, I don't know why they can't figure it out. I guess tourists versus expats, transient travelers, people who live there long term, etc., etc. Hello everybody, welcome to the live stream. If you're enjoying this view, and you like conversations that aren't brain rot, smash that like button. Support the channel, that's all we ask for. Just smash that like button, I guess. I guess that's important, they said. Yeah. Oh man, I bought a whole bunch of new vitamins, man. I really enjoy taking vitamins. Like, what do I take? Well, multivitamins, fish oils, salmon oil, coconut oil, K2, vitamin D3, D3, magnesium, zinc. Yeah. Even neurotropics, like stuff that's good for the brain. There's one product called Alpha Brain. It's kind of a cheesy name, but Joe Rogan stands behind it. I got it today. It's kind of expensive, but I got a good vibe though. I was running today. Had a good run, did some weights. You know. It's always about intensity in the gym, man. You ever see those guys in the gym, like they think that like they're supposed to pretend like they're working out just because they're there, I guess, and like I don't know, it's weird. Like I've always gone all in. I know some of it's genetics, so I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I do out-train guys, even some athletes 20 years younger than me, when it comes to raw training, like in the gym. But that's just the way it goes, I guess. I mean, some people have different needs and so forth. I have to train. I mean, especially as a truck driver, otherwise I won't make it, you know? I mean, I'm in this cab like 60, 70 hours a week. Sometimes I'll just get out in the desert or get out on the road and just run or jog or walk, do push-ups in the truck stop, crunches in the shower, whatever I gotta do, you know? I do like the summertime though, because you get a nice, I like running in the heat. I run in the heat a lot, like down in the Philippines, so kind of got accustomed to that. Like if you can make it even 40 minutes down in the Philippines running during midday, I mean, you got your gallon jug of water and you're just sweating like ridiculously, right? It doesn't even make any sense. But I don't know, even sweating is really healthy for the body, healthy for the skin. Oh, also biotin. I've been taking a lot of biotin lately. That stuff for like your skin, your nails and all that, your hair. If you take too much of it though, it can kind of make your hair greasy. But anyway, share your locations, who's ever out there. Smash that like button, and when I pull the truck over, I can read your comments. But yeah, even walking. I mean, if you can just, even if you're not into like athletic training or bodybuilding or whatever, high intensity cardio, weight training, just go for a walk, man. Even a 20-minute walk, 30, 40-minute walk can make all the difference in your week. You bust that out, you know, it's great. The truckers that go stagnant, they run into trouble, man. Isn't this view beautiful, though? We got the sun going down, folks. Maybe I'll stop talking. Sorry. I'll let you enjoy the view. Check out these clouds. If you like the view, smash the like button for us. You know, during the pandemic, they had people taking all this stuff, but you realize if you just took vitamin D3 and K2 and magnesium and zinc, your immune system would be so much better, especially during the winter months with lack of sun. It's key. As time goes on, I've kind of become accustomed and actually enjoy life on the road sometimes. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. It can be challenging, of course. No, I don't think people realize how much over-the-road truck drivers really drive. To make any money in this business, I mean, you got to be rolling, man. 400 to 600 miles daily. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Trucker. I got my phone legally mounted so I can't see it, but when I pull over I can read the comments. This is for legal and safety reasons. In the meantime, please support the channel by just hitting the like button. That's all I ask of you. Share your comments, your thoughts, talk to each other, share your locations. Any insights into happiness and find higher enlightenment, whatever you got, share it with us. Welcome to the positive section of the internet. If you've stumbled upon this channel, you have officially escaped the brain rot of social media. You're about to go to the next level, folks. That's a true story. This isn't your typical expat Philippines channel. Where we're going, we don't need roads. I got that line from Doc and Back to the Future. I like these clouds like in the Tennessee mountains like this. You kind of see those in California too. You see the way they just kind of chill, like they're kind of, it almost looks like smoke, but it's not. Hope you're all enjoying the ride today. Find somewhere to pull the truck over. Fortunately, we're not too heavy, so we're going to be able to pass these trucks hauling a relatively light load. Well, 30,000 pounds. It's not light, but for truckers it's light. Usually hauling stuff like 44,000 pounds. I get standing when they like load the truck, you know, to the maximum possible weight to where you gotta perfectly slide the tandem, you know. Sometimes move the fifth wheel, perfectly balance the weight. It can be kind of not fun. Yeah, I like when the weight's just like, you know, 31,000 pounds. It's easier to climb these hills. If you like that, smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Support the channel, man. That's all we ask. I'm not going to ask again. Sorry. I just got to throw that in there occasionally. Yeah, man, we're rolling through Tennessee. We're headed towards Nashville and then go up through Indiana into Illinois. I got an appointment around the Chicago area Monday. So we're way ahead of schedule. It's going to be kind of a chill weekend. Plan on doing some more training. I'll work on my book, I hope. Got to put my writer's cap back on. You know, Neil Peart of Rush used to motorcycle all throughout the country on the back roads between cities while Rush was touring. So he'd play drums like 2.5, 3 hours every night. Then he'd be motorcycling at every venue. Yeah, Neil Peart was on another level, dude. I hope you're enjoying the sunset. You guys see that sun in the distance, man? Yeah, man, support the channel, dude. We need to get this thing back in the... pump the channel back through the algorithm. So we're going to go down the vortex and get hundreds of thousands of views every month and do all that. Well, you know, you got to do it sometimes. I was kind of on cruise control for about 4 or 5 months. You know, doing like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50,000 views a month. That's okay. But, you know, you got to kind of turn the faucet back on sometimes and put yourself out there, grow the channel, meet more people, because you never know who you're going to meet. You know, you can always meet some really cool people doing social media. They come along, you know, once in a while, and I'm grateful for everybody who watches the channel. The world's what you make it. I mean, truck driving in the 1970s used to be extremely respected, high-paying profession, you know. They say adjusted for inflation, truckers in the 1970s were making about $130,000, $140,000 a year. So the government started doing regulations in like the 1980s. And then, you know, it was an effort of media turning against them. They started making bad movies about truck drivers. And, you know, companies started becoming more greedy. Mega carriers started paying less. And it's kind of what happened for decades, you know. And then the job actually became very appealing for immigrants. You know, a lot of immigrants come here from Eastern Europe, Africa, Asia. And, you know, they pay them less, you know, they do good work, and they go back to their country. You know, I go back and forth. I'll work for a number of months and then cruise back to the Philippines or something. Fly back, I should say. I think we have officially hit a traffic jam. I think there's a lane closure. on the I-24 West going to Nashville. Hope you're all enjoying this. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Trucker, man. We're in Nashville, or going towards Nashville, and then heading up to Chicago. It's kind of a nice drive right now. We got the sunset. We just hit a little bit of a traffic delay, but we should be carrying on here shortly. In the meantime, you're all welcome to talk among yourselves, and I got the phone legally mounted, so when I pull over, I can read the comments and respond. Right now I can't see the phone. But yeah, thanks for coming by. We've still got sunlight, folks. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, the way society turned on truck drivers. Yeah, that's a true story. You know? It's kind of unfortunate. But there's still money to be made in this industry. It's a tough job. I mean, you got to really like driving to do it. I think they say most people drop out within the first matter of months or less than a year. I think a lot of people just aren't fit for the road, or they don't have the discipline to, you know, take care of themselves properly, because it's a whole different life. You know, you're kind of removed from the comforts of your regular house and social circle and society, and you are kind of out here alone most of the time. But you know, that's why I think, you know, for some people social media can be unhealthy. I think for people like truck drivers or sailors or people that work in these remote, strange locations, I think it can be very healthy, actually. But you got to have your limits too, and of course, staying healthy on the road physically is key, absolutely key. You know, I always still try to drink a gallon of water a day. I got an arsenal of vitamins and supplements. I always carry like a 10-pound bag of protein in the truck. So I'm always mixing shakes as I go. So yeah, there's no reason you can't stay physically healthy either, you know? I think what happens is a lot of guys, you know, sadly, because of the way society treats them, and they can't handle the stress, and they start to get into bad habits and maybe eat too much, or they start drinking, or they're socially isolated, they don't have any connections back home. And yeah, you can go down those roads, and that can be unhealthy for anybody. So you really got to be disciplined there. You know, it's kind of, I mean, I've heard guys know. Okay, who knows? There could be like 100 people here right now, or 4 people. You never know. It's all good. Everybody matters, man. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a soul. Every person's unique. Imagine that. Everybody's unique. Everybody's unique. Although it does seem some people are, maybe they, I don't know, they're kind of rigid or something. I can't explain it, but I'm not sure if it's a spiritual thing or if some people are in like other dimensions possibly concurrently. You can kind of see it even in the way they move. You know? And I wonder if it's also a reflection of their mind. There's a lot of things we can't see. That's for sure. I mean, you realize, you know, for the first time, even the U.S. government is saying, like, recognizing officially that there's unidentified objects, flying objects or whatnot. I mean, pilots see these really bizarre things that move at just crazy speeds and angles and altitudes and drop 10,000, 20,000 feet instantly. They seem to go into the ocean sometimes. And nobody really knows what it is. No countries have technology capable of such things that we know of. And I think it just kind of gets to the point where even the U.S. government's like, well, yeah, there's something there. Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine how much of the ocean, for instance, is unexplored. What if there's this whole civilization underneath the ocean and it casually spies on us occasionally? I think we're naive to think that we understand everything. I've learned a bit about the human ego in my time here on Earth. And I gotta say, I think, they say people like actors and athletes and, I don't know, people on TV, people in media, they got big egos. But I think people in academia got huge egos too. I don't think it discriminates in terms of your particular job, you know what I mean? I think it runs across the human race. And I think, personally, that people in academia tend to also gatekeep. They don't want people knowing all their information. They don't want to share all the information. And I also think they seem to think they can explain everything, right? I find that in atheists as well. I find the irony of atheists is, like, many of them, they have this intellectual vanity and they think they can explain everything, and the truth is they don't know. And so there's almost a stupidity there that it's kind of interesting. It's mind-blowing that people can really think they can explain the universe, right? Where we came from, and even stuff with, like, there's so much money to be made and all this weird stuff, like, carbon dating, environmental change, climate change, and so forth. There's, like, big business there. You know that? I mean, there really is. And it somehow seeps its way into the U.S. political system, right? Which further polarizes and divides the country or whatever. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre how things like, I mean, obviously pollution's a problem. Everybody, it's common sense, right? But I was reading, like, some studies, they say the temperature of Earth at this stage in something is cooler than it used to be, apparently, over the past God knows how many years. Yeah. Anyway, you guys are enjoying this traffic and that speech, smash that like button. I got a lot more babbling coming up for you, a lot more ramblings. Didn't Trump say that? He's like, I'm a great rambler. He said, I'm a great rambler. Nobody rambles like me. That was funny. I thought that was funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's a true story. But I guess somehow things like immigration become like, again, they make stuff like that like a political issue, when in reality it's like all countries have these, rules or whatever. It's like more of a national security issue, right? I mean, it's like common sense. You guys realize that, and of course the majority of them are like fine people, right? Of course. But the higher volume that comes in, there's going to be trickles of, people that aren't so good. So the U.S. allows foreigners to buy land. You guys know that? You realize as an American, you can't go to the. Oh, the kids want me to honk the horn. As an American, you can't just go to the Philippines and start buying land. You can't go to China and buy land. It's just common sense, right? So you have some of the Chinese are buying land next to like military bases. Apparently, they own like a huge part of the farmland in America. Did you guys know that? It's like, and nobody really seems to talk about it for some reason. I mean, I don't know if like we're that stupid as a people to be like, oh yeah, if you pay us more money, we'll sell you anything. Like, I just don't get it, and I don't even think it matters. Like, I mean, I don't think. I mean, the majority of like the deep state of the U.S. politicians are probably just, they're all in. Even if they started off with good intentions and they were idealistic, they're probably caught up in corruption and all this and that. Nobody wants to give up their power, of course. And so they just sort of let all this shit happen. It's kind of amazing. It really is. It's really amazing. It's mind-blowing. And yet the people, your average Joneses, they're still like, oh, Trump's going to save our country. Or so-and-so is going to save our country. We're always waiting for like, Big Daddy to come, the new president of the U.S. to save us all. And it's like, dude, we're going to have to get down and just start taking care of ourselves. Otherwise, we're fucked. Excuse my language. Oh, that truck's mangled up. Did you guys see that? That's too bad. That sucks. Pray for that guy. Alright, we're going to reach cruising altitude again, folks. Buckle your seatbelts. It's Captain Trucker. Smash the like button. I hope you enjoy the view. So yeah, when you guys hear that stuff, that's what I heard. I was like, well, what is this deep state? What does that mean, right? And according to some, and by the way, I'm always talking about U.S. stuff. I never talk about like, foreign stuff. But anyway, in terms of that, but they say the quote-unquote deep state is the people that have been there, different bureaucrats that have been there for a very, very long time. For instance, there's only a small handful of people that have access to all this stuff in the UAEs and so forth. I think there's a certain power that people get from holding on to secrets too, right? It's just bizarre. It really is. I had a question like, how much do they really know about these UAEs, or maybe they don't know. Or maybe they know it's just BS, and they're allowing people to think that there's something there just to distract them. Who knows? Or maybe they're slowly desensitizing the population. There's some serious stuff out there. But I guess we kind of got our, everybody's focused on the immediate. Look, most people are focused on working and paying their bills and feeding their faces and feeding their families. And that's pretty much what they vote on or whatever. They don't really have time to think about this other stuff. But, we are legitimately living in a matrix, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. And there's stuff that you're consuming every day. Possibly subliminal messages, possibly frequencies. I'm not saying there is, but there could be. There could be stuff even in the airwaves that you aren't even audible in a sense to where, but it has an effect on you, right? I mean, there's studies on this, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. I've traveled to many places, okay? I felt different things. Vibes, as they say. And I love my country. I love the U.S. There is a certain energy here, though, I must say. And it's not good or bad. It just is what it is. I try to embrace the good. I try to be positive. There's a certain level of urgency and intensity. And some of that's just in probably a developing country too, right? Or sorry, not a developing country, an industrial country. Work, 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 right? What do all these people working for? You see all these people on the road driving all these nice cars and stuff. I mean, you guys realize that most of these people technically cannot even afford these pieces of machinery that transport them from point A to point B. So what's that about? You know, why are they doing that? I don't know. I don't have these answers. It's a cultural thing. Anyway, welcome to the live stream, folks. We got the sun going down. About 75 miles east of Nashville, westbound. Well, big business, they got to hit their numbers, right? Nobody's ever satisfied with being rich. They always want more, right? Always want more. I guess that's what they call greed. Can you imagine that these like Fortune 500 companies and the meeting with the stakeholders and like, you know what, guys, I think we've made enough money. Like, why can't we just chill out with what we've made? We don't have to make more money the next quarter. Why don't we just float? It's never going to happen. They always want more, right? Oh, goody, goody. Good old big pharma. Yes, they produce a lot of good medications for the human race, for us Americans, and then some are not so good. And people don't realize that. Some people realize that. Some people have common sense. A lot of it's just common sense, right? There's a tendency, though, to believe the guys in the white coats that hand this stuff out like candy. Like, well, he went to school for 11 years and put himself $100,000 in debt. I guess he's entitled to do whatever he wants. I guess that's why they call it practitioners. They're almost practicing on people, right? Think about that word, practitioner. What does that mean, right? To practice. Well, don't you want like an expert not to be practicing on you? Like, what's going on there? Like, why are they practicing, right? Like, what do you mean you're practicing? I don't want, what is this, like Little League? I want somebody who knows what they're doing. Why are you practicing on me? Oh, and then they have like malpractice insurance. Just in case the practice goes wrong. Well, we were just hey man, I was just practicing. I didn't mean to. They hand out all these like weird experimental medications on the human race, on all these Americans. Like, Americans have essentially become lab rats for Big Pharma. All these biased studies that nobody can understand. Yeah, it's safe. Take it. Take it all. There's a lot of stuff with stem cells these days for injuries, man. Stem cells are very expensive, but a lot of really people are saying great things about stem cell therapy. And peptides, apparently. Peptides are becoming popular now. So there you go. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a good day out there. It's yours truly, Captain Trucker. We are cruising through life now. You guys enjoy the view and the conversation? I hope you are. Approaching Nashville approximately sometime. There's a Trump store on exit 114, isn't that funny? They sell Trump memorabilia on the side. Isn't that hilarious? Parking area up here. I'm gonna pull over and say hi to everybody. Try to greet some whoever's in the room, in case anybody wants to. I was listening to Dr. Phil when Rogan was interviewing Dr. Phil last year, and he's like, now I'm not trying to say, I don't want people thinking anything bad, but there's an awful lot of people coming here, and we don't know who they are. And I got to be very careful about what I say. It's kind of funny. I don't know what the deal with Dr. Phil was. I used to think his show was all scripted, but apparently maybe some of it's true. I'm not sure. I gotta look into that. I haven't looked into that one. It's like some kind of question whether he was like a real doctor or something. I haven't looked into that one. Dr. Phil. Yeah, he's a Texan. All right, we're at this rest area. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man. Hey people. Thanks for coming by today, folks. Jeff H. says biotechnology, big pharma also runs the agriculture and meat industry, GMO, vaccine, growth hormones, food additives, big corporations. Yeah. They pretty much run the show. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's that whole thing where, I guess that's money. Is that what they call it? That's what does it. Well, you never know who you meet online. It's always interesting, right? Welcome to the live stream, guys. Let's get those likes up there, man. 6 likes. I thought we'd have like 65 by now. Maybe they don't like it. I don't know. You'd think at least they like The View. I like The View. Bob McWhinney, more like Captain Kangaroo. You know, I never even see. I gotta see that show. What's the deal with that guy? What's the story of Captain Kangaroo? What's the story? Diabolic Native says, "Hey, Captain, how you doing? I'm good, man. Thank you." Matt Scheidt says, "Arkansas looks like that." Manny C was here. Andrew Cunningham. Andy who? And Michael TV. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Doing good out there today? All having a good time? Boy, we had a great run today, folks. Where are we going? All right, I'm going to carry on driving now. Hey, Melly, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Check out Melly's channel, everybody. She's got really good karaoke with these like gnarly video backgrounds of like Thailand and these great, you know, drones flying through the air through like different Asian cities. Incredible. And she's good at singing too. So check out Melly K Vlogs, folks. And thank you, Melly. Appreciate it. Jeff H says, listen to Flowers on the Wall, Think by the Statler Brothers. They mentioned Captain Kangaroo. Yeah, I remember that from Pulp Fiction, actually. You remember this scene where Bruce Willis is driving the car? Before he hits Marcellus Wallace, he's listening to that song. But yeah, man, I guess Captain Kangaroo is a major player, dude. He was a heavyweight at some point. He was, like a lot of people, he was big time, you know? So there you go. Jeff H says karaoke's big in Asia. Is it mostly big in the, I think it's the biggest in the Philippines, or no? Oh, Melly, you've seen Pulp Fiction? Yeah, it's kind of a dark movie. It was a good one, though. Tarantino had his own strange style. Unique, I should say. Jeff H says, I've been to China, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia. All right. Yeah, I've been to Indonesia, Thailand. Oh, yeah, the Philippines. I've been to the Philippines several times. So karaoke's big in Asia in general, okay. I thought so. Melly says she lived in Thailand for a year. All right. Rock on. How long have you been in Florida? Jeff says he's only been to Jakarta and Bali, Indonesia. Well, Bali's a nice place. 22 years, right on. Time flies, doesn't it? It really does. Time goes by so fast. It goes by faster and faster, too. I wonder if that's because, like, we become one with time. We kind of become used to it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a kid, everything's new. So it seems like it's far away, but then you get, like, kind of... you get jaded by life because you get used to it. So then it... like, a year goes by and you don't even notice. Well, that's okay. Yeah, breaking behaviors, man. We're such creatures of habit. That's the thing. So I forced myself to get out of the truck and run. Have to actually. I got a good vibe today, man. I took, I got a bunch of new vitamins and stuff, and I blazed my 3 mile run. I was hitting like 12 miles per hour. Doing really good intervals. It was good. I got a good vibe. Gives such a good endorphin boost and all that. I love it. It's the best. Makes you feel fresh, you know. Is that I can't stand that dull thing, like you ever look around like people get that way yourself and just in general, like that dull, like they're just beaten down and there's a dullness. They're like beaten down by the system and they lose the will to do something else. But you always got to keep mixing it up. Keep forcing yourself to try new things. But yeah, I think exercise is so key, man. I really do. Even just walking, you don't have to have like awesome genetics or be an athlete. Like if you can just walk, it makes all the difference in the world. It's incredible. The difference between life, exercise, and not is like night and day. Melly says, I'd have to go back to Asia again to smack some sense into me and appreciate everything again. I feel like I'm complaining about everything again. Well, you're just adjusting to Western life. That's all that is, Melly. You're adjusting to the American culture. You're getting jaded by consumerism. I mean, everybody goes through it. You shouldn't be ashamed. It's part of what we do here. I mean, it's the status quo. Like, you're almost expected to be that way. It's kind of insane, actually. But yeah, I mean, I was like going on and on and on about materialism on this channel for like, I don't know, about a year, talking about simplicity. Yeah, I talked about it a lot till I was blue in the face, and now I'm kind of changing subjects. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really it's a big deal. And we all get caught in it in some way, shape, or form, particularly in the middle class. And yeah, I don't know. It's just bizarre to me, like especially after all these years of being in the truck or being in Asia or Philippines and all this stuff. I'm like, once you see those parts of the world, and it has an effect on you no matter what, no matter who you are. And I think it helps people for the better. And it's not even so much like, oh, look at how much we have and look at those poor people, because you start to realize that it's such BS, right? You start to realize the material value of what you're working, what you're paying for, what it really is, right? Like, it doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a life, it doesn't have an energy. It's an object. Like, literally, like a car is like metal and wheels. You get like the house with the stucco walls and the travertine tiles, but I mean, what is it? Like, what value does that really bring to your life, right? I'm just saying, it's common sense, and a lot of people understand that in theory. They're like, oh yeah, I get it, yeah, materialism, simplicity, yeah, that's good. But I don't think they really get it until they force themselves to and submerge themselves in a different culture or a different way of life. Or that's why I was like telling people like, oh, they should live in their car, and some people are like, oh, that's crazy. Why would you do that? And I said, because it's an exercise, man. See, people fear the idea of homelessness, okay? Sense of status, that's what it is, 'Cause we're always working so hard in the middle. We're not like the lower class, because we work. Those people don't work. They just collect the government benefits and just don't do anything. We're doing all the work, and so there's a lot of pride in that, But, I don't know. What are they working for? I just don't get it. I think they should all just live in tents. All right, I'm done. I'm not going to say that again. I'm not going to do that speech. Jeff H says, And Melly says, I know, I like the simplicity in Asia. It just keeps me grounded. Yeah, I mean, because then you start to appreciate things more, right? You know, you appreciate those luxuries more, those little things and all that. It's true. That's why even like really rich people, like guys like Neil Peart, the drummer of Rush, he would go do these biking tours in Africa for like 3 or 4 months at a time. And I'm talking about like Cameroon, like really rural parts of Africa on a bike tour, right? Like staying, like camping sometimes. And he would do that for 3 months at a time each year. And it made him a better artist, it made him a better writer, a better drummer, a better person, he said, because it really stripped away from, you know, all the noise and the comforts and the frequencies of the Western life. And he kind of, you know, that's true. Ellie says, now to make my kids understand what a simple life is another story. Well, yeah, I mean, you just gotta travel more, I guess. Jeff H says, you can usually tell Americans when they travel to Asia they bring too much luggage. Most travelers in Asia just have a backpack when out traveling for a week or two. Yeah, well, I guess, you know, people want to be prepared too. All right, I gotta hit the road again, ladies and gentlemen. You can keep talking, but I can't see the comments, but thank you. I'm gonna start driving now. Thanks for coming by. If you want to hear some good karaoke, look at some good backgrounds. That is a pretty cool setup you got going on there. Get to the chopper. Yeah, these are considered truck rest areas, and it's basically like a pull-off on the side of the road. It's kind of funny, huh? Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We are now flying the plane. it's the establishment. I used to call them the Joneses, but I made a new phrase. Well, I don't think I made it, but I'm saying something else now. Instead of the Joneses, I call them the establishment people. I don't know why I thought that was funny. Yeah. Listen, if you're going to be one of the establishment people, pay your bills, go into debt, don't ask questions, go along and get along. We'll give you a nice house, all right? All right, rock and roll. We'll even give you a car with good interest. Welcome to the establishment. How about that? I like that one. Hey, listen, I've been one of those people. I'm not knocking them, all right? Life's hard, especially when you got kids. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't just like live in a car, live in a tent, right? I mean, you got to put them in like a house or something. Well, let's take the family and go live in the jungle, kids. See some of something in the distance there. The sun is going down. Is the sun going down? I believe it is. guess I was gonna take a break from talking. That'd be funny if I talked for like 3 hours straight. Not really. Sun is going down, folks. I'll drive another 5 hours tonight. Short day today. Have a good night, folks.